watch, you know.
100%.
These are all my sayings. Um, so you're young, I can tell.
Yes,
You're in
sir.
technology, I can tell. Luis, you're also in technology.
Yes, most definitely.
And I can't tell, you know, how old or how young you are, but it really doesn't matter.
Born in '66.
66. Okay, well, I got all you guys beat. I was born in 49.
Uh,
You guys are going to be shocked. I was born in 2001.
Are you serious? Get
I
off my
am.
group.
I'm
Get off
23
my.
years old.
Well, you know what? I love learning. I love technology. I got into technology. I was a director of accounting for a publicly traded company, and
Mhm.
they had had one fraud after another. And so they hired me to fix all the stuff that was going on. And I decided to computerize departments. This is back in the 70s somewhere. So that's when, okay, you guys are sitting down, I presume. That's when a 250 megabyte hard drive was the size of a washing machine and
Jeez.
and 40 to $50,000.
wow.
I've
So
got one of those sitting right in front of me.
you wait, you have what sitting? You mean a little thumb drive?
Yeah, but
Yeah,
it's like I got this big one. It's like
yeah.
I don't know,
A zip
probably
drive.
it's a big drive, but it's not nearly as big as that, and it probably cost me what, $50.
Yeah, yeah, right. Yeah, you can get terabytes on a fingernail now,
Yep.
right? No, that's you have to think about where it started. I mean, I got into technology very early in the game. I fell in love with it, and I ultimately decided to start my own computer company. So, and that's when, like I was saying, a 250 megabyte hard
Mhm.
drive was the size of a washing machine, 40 to $50,000. And I've never lost that enthusiasm. And it's still changing. And now you got AI,
Right.
right? So, Luis, AI is impacting your world, right?
Correct.
And it's kind of fun, isn't it?
Yes, it is. I'm streamlining our efforts.
Yeah. And Luis, how old are you again?
58.
Oh, you're old. Yeah. So if you can imagine the evolution of all this stuff, um, never lose track of that because by the time you catch up with it, it's already past you. Isn't that what's
Hmm.
happening? So it's not a lot of people showing up for this meeting today. And the one person that said she was, two people said they were, are not here. Oh, Michael, you did. You said you were going to be here. Um, all right. So how do we approach the future? Maybe that's the best thing. This picture of my city. He's the head of my social media. His name is Mehedi, and that's the task we're saddled with today is to figure that out and figure how to impact people. So how do you do that? You don't just hand um, social media to people and say run with it. You got to learn something along the way, right?
Mhm.
So let's start this. What are you guys learning?
So I work for a marketing company. So it's mainly digital marketing. So it's a lot of what we do is website based, ad running ads and actually generating results for clients. But a lot of it is also brand recognition, right? And the best way to do that is with social media, just consistently staying in front of people every day. One of the sayings we have around here is it usually takes 7 times for somebody to see an ad before they convert to customer, right? So the best way to do it, at least in the digital world, is just continuously being in front of them, right? Posting every single day, giving some good insights, something for people to relate to, but also something, people can learn from as well. Maybe something even funny. So there's multiple different ways to kind of go about that. But yeah, no, it changes constantly, with like trends and stuff. Like I'm sure you guys obviously have seen like TikTok. I don't know if you're on Instagram or not, but there's different videos that you'll see. And once you see one of them and it's super popular, you'll see like 50 more exactly like that with just a bunch of people who are trending, right? So trending is definitely something that is a big thing. What's up, Tyler?
Good morning. Good morning. My apologies for being late. My meeting ran long.
Yeah, I'm glad you're here. Definitely glad you're here. Northwestern Mutual, right?
That's right.
So yeah, we were just talking how the world is changing and how do you get caught up in it. I was actually going to call you after the meeting so we could talk about it.
Yeah.
It's not just Michael. Well, let's do this. Why don't you guys introduce yourselves to each other because that's what this meeting is about.
Oh.
So who wants to start?
Actually, me and Tyler, we've got a meeting a little bit later today at 3:30, I believe. We
Yep.
met once 2 weeks ago, so we're gonna kind of keep meeting and seeing what we can do for each other. But my name's Michael. I guess I haven't introduced myself to you, Louise. I am a account executive for a marketing firm here in the Phoenix area called Vens Media. We've been around for about 5 years, and we specialize in different type of lead generation, running ads, and brand awareness campaigns. So there's many different strategies to do that, but yeah.
Oh, awesome. Pleasure to meet you.
Yeah, you as well.
Who wants to go next?
I'll go. Yeah, I know Michael and Bob, but Luis and Cheryl, I'll introduce myself. I'm Tyler Nanny. I actually own a financial advising practice at Northwestern Mutual, doing it for a couple of years now. I have a team of 6 that works under me. We help anywhere under the sun for people getting out of college, starting with budgeting, Roth, investment planning, getting the basic insurances set up to middle-aged families with young kids, helping them get set up and plan for retirement, as well as helping people in retirement with estate planning, tax mitigation, and legacy planning. So pretty much anything under the sun in terms of brokerage and advisory portfolios, risk management planning, retirement and tax analysis is more of what my team and I do.
Good stuff. Good stuff.
Yeah,
Okay.
it's super important, especially after a lot of the tax codes and things are changing, especially after the election and things that
Yeah.
are hopefully not sunsetting in 2025. But if the estate gift tax goes from 24 to 12, there's got to be a lot of conversations that need to be had, especially for married couples. So that's a big part of my business right now, especially after the election.
You bet. Excuse me, I got to shut a door because I'm getting too much feedback.
No, no worries.
Okay, that should help a little bit. Okay, Michael, did you go?
I did, yes.
Yes.
Luis, you
Yeah,
have
my name is Luis Vega. I'm with Trade. We're an older company. Started out SMR Global, SMR Strategy, and so on Corp, where we did a lot of boots on the ground import-export trading. That's what I'm doing now. I'm down in South Texas, picking up some avocados from a cold storage, waiting for the USDA to inspect them so I can move them forward into the market in Central Texas. And I'm buying up wholesale avocados and retailing them into the market there in Central Texas. But Trade is all about using artificial intelligence and using arbitrage and making this more sent to an Uber assignment. This is what Trade is doing, where we're putting together the deals, import-export deals, data scraping CPI and PPI indexes using artificial intelligence, auto emailing producers and consumers, and put together the best deals for you, and letting like an arbitrager or a broker come into the website for a paid subscription, picking up the deal and kind of taking it from the cradle to the grave. But 90% of the legwork's already done. There's roughly 25,000 importers, 25,000 exporters already on the system, already broken down, everything's already vetted. All the arbitrager has to do is pick up the deal and go forward, and they earn a commission. And we're financing the whole product, and we're freight forwarding the whole deal, and we're allowing artificial intelligence to take the bulk of the work instead of doing it boots on the ground, which takes up a whole bunch of time. So hopefully in the near future, you'll see us out in the market and about using an Uber concept where people can do import-export brokerage from their
So
homes.
the import export, what's the product itself?
It is arbitrage deals. So the API and CPI indexes we scrape is true arbitrage. We don't cater to one specific product. We cater to what artificial intelligence is saying today is the hottest deal.
Okay, so you don't really care what the product is,
No, not at
just
all.
the ability to arbitrage it.
Exactly.
And
It's
this,
as long as the arbitrage makes sense. So where producer price index is low and a consumer price index is high, we're marrying the both of them together. Our artificial intelligence is doing auto emailers, doing auto communications, saying we're purchasing and we're selling, and both parties agree, and they've already signed ICPO documents, irrevocable corporate purchase orders, and the broker gets in between and already is receiving a completed deal. All it takes is a little bit of a human touch and make final calls, and deal is done.
so if you narrowed this down to a simplicity, why don't you do this? Either you can call me, text me, whatever you want to do, and I'm going to put this brain here. It's getting smaller, I think, but it's figuring out where the best deals are. How do you put deals together? Because putting deals together today is a massive thing. So Tyler is doing something entirely different
Mhm.
because it's boots on the ground. Is that a way of saying that?
Yeah.
Okay. And then we haven't spoken to Cheryl. So Cheryl, why don't you step in and tell us a little bit about who you are?
I too am in the financial industry and we are boots on the ground. And I have gathered quite a few resources for my clients or my prospects. So we do a discovery call, we find out what they need, and I plug them into the right professional, the expert in that area. And we take care of those needs. And we work with middle America, small businesses, individuals, families. Love it.
Well, you know what's interesting you just said, Cheryl? Don't forget, gang, this you cannot lose the human touch, can you? Whether it's in AI or it's boots on the ground, you can't lose that mental the human touch. And that's what I'm here to facilitate is creating that human touch, creating the relationships and not just doing it through automation, but people to people. They say, let's see, let me see if I can get to the statistic. Um, 60% of the people out there meet through a relationship somewhere, right? Does that number make sense? Okay. Now, what is the separation between AI and the human touch? Well, when you get introduced to somebody, is it always going to be through automation? No, you got to put that human factor in there, don't you? So, what do you do with the human factor? How do you get that part covered? You ask questions. Am I hitting a sensitive area here? Yes, no? Thoughts?
No, you're on.
Keep going.
Yep, you got to put that human touch in there. And I've done studies over the years that something like 60% of the people out there have been introduced to somebody else through an individual, not a machine, but through an individual. If you don't add that element of human touch in there, you're going to lose. Am I
I
making any
agree.
sense, or
Yeah,
am I going?
absolutely.
Yeah,
Okay.
I agree. Our numbers are very similar. It's the numbers state that 65% of people out there don't have a financial advisor, and of that 65%, 90% of people say that they want to be introduced via some form of connection and or networking group.
Boy, you
So
just
it's
hit
the
the nail
same
on the
thing. You
head.
don't want to be reached out via automation. People don't want to be cold called. They want to be
Yep.
introduced. So if you're picking up the phone and say, "This is Tyler. Hey Bob, this is Tyler. Good friends of Michael. Did he mention I'd be reaching out to you?" That's what people want to hear on the phone. They don't want to hear, "Hey, this is what I do. This is where I'm from. Don't know if it makes sense for us to know each other, but would love to find time to connect with you." Like, still better than an AI source, but people want to hear that warm connection, that warm feel, something that resonates with them, and that's what that human touch is for.
Okay, so most of you people have met me through LinkedIn, right?
Yeah.
Did you know that LinkedIn was acquired by Microsoft a number of years ago? Anybody know that? You know how much? $26 billion. And from where it was, I think 16, 20 years ago when I got involved with LinkedIn, there was only like 130 million people on LinkedIn when Microsoft bought them for $26 billion. And look at where it's going. They're introducing AI on LinkedIn now, right? You guys seeing that? Okay, so and you can assume that it's going to change significantly. Mehedi is the picture of mycity.com. He's the head of my social media. And so we were just talking about that this morning. How do you get to the next level? Well, the next level is that human, isn't it? Am I right?
Absolutely. Yeah.
Okay.
AI is very what's the word I want to use? Seems more like a robot. The stuff that it says, it's not I mean, it sounds great, but nobody would ever really say those things unless they're the smartest man on earth. So,
Yeah. Hey, I'll give you something. This goes back. So, do you guys know who Mark Spitz is? You ever heard
um,
about? Okay. Mark Spitz held the most um, gold medals in the Olympics um, before, what's his name? Now I'm forgetting.
Phelps?
Before Mark Phelps. Okay. So, my brother-in-law, and that goes back to the 1972 when he won something like 7 gold medals in the Olympics. Mark Spitz did. Okay. So he's best friends with my brother-in-law. They're inseparable friends. So my nephew calls me up a couple of years ago already. He says, "You got to watch this amazing article or interview of Mark Spitz." So I listened to it, called him back after I watched the interview, and my nephew says to me, "That wasn't Mark Spitz. That was artificial intelligence." This is going back a couple of years ago now. So I I told my brother-in-law. My brother-in-law told Mark Spitz, and he got really mad. He got really, really mad. So it came down immediately. But this is the world that we're in now. You cannot tell the difference between AI, a robot, and um, artificial intelligence and a human. That's the world we're in. And it's going to get crazier, don't you think? So, in the meantime, we have to do what we're doing right now, boots on the ground, right? Except this is through Zoom. And this is only going to revolutionize everything we do today is going to be revolutionized tomorrow. Now, how many of you believe in that? Let me see a show of hands.
Agreed.
Okay.
Agreed.
Okay. Okay. So when you can't tell the difference between a human and a robot, that's when you know you got things to worry about. And one of the things I've been saying, the amount of hacking that is going on is only going to skyrocket. Am I making any sense or am I a crazy man?
No, absolutely. I would agree with that for sure.
Okay. So now what do we do with it? How do we prevent that hacking that everybody is afraid of? How do you do that? You have to have that human touch in there somewhere. And that's what we're doing. So you got to combine mechanical with that human touch. Does everybody agree to that? So,
Yes.
so that's why I like to talk about partnering with people. Tyler, I was going to call you later today so we can take those first steps to the next road to success.
Yeah, sounds good.
Everybody want to join in on that? We got something here, huh? So, Michael, you're not a robot, are you?
Correct. Not
I,
yet, at least.
I always talk about laughter. If you don't have something funny to say, you shouldn't even be speaking. So that's our road. And that's our challenge. That, by the way, our challenge is what is happening today, not tomorrow, today. And I talked to my head of social media about that this morning before this meeting. So Mahedi, you get it?
Yes.
So Mahedi's out of Bangladesh. So that's our challenge today. So how, and I think the best way that we can move forward is partnering. That makes sense to you guys?
Mhm.
Okay. So I'm going to give you, well, they put my number, I'm sure. Mahedi put my phone number in the chat, but you know, you put it in there, right, Mahedi?
Yes, already
Yeah, I
I
see
put.
it in there.
Okay. Do me a big favor. Reach out to me. And I think I've probably spurred on a couple of interesting ideas that might have turned on a light bulb, right? Is that making any sense to people?
Hmm.
But don't wait for tomorrow. Don't wait till January 1st. Start now. And that's what I was talking to Mahedi about. What do we do now to get people's awareness? What do we do? You've got to do it. You don't have a choice. Or you're doing this, putting blinders on. We don't have to spend an hour talking about this. I think it's going to take shape individually. Now, how about if we do this? We meet back here a week from today with your ideas and your thoughts, or speak to me now because feedback is the most important factor you have when you're doing something. And I'd love to hear your thoughts. So I'll give you my phone number. You could write it down. You can go to the chat. Call me 310-736-5787. That's my mobile number. I don't have a landline, but I've got an iPhone and an Android because you can do different things on different devices. So how you communicate with people is really, really essential. Uh, Tyler, I know you're on an iPhone, right?
Hmm.
Okay. Cheryl, you're on an iPhone. Oh, no, that's right. You're on an Android. Okay. Michael.
I'm on an iPhone.
Okay. Luis.
iPhone.
Okay. So it's very easy. We could create a group to, I'm going to go back for a second. What are you guys thinking about this? Is it making any sense? Is it opening up the mental horizon for you?
Yes.
Or is this the same old thing that you've heard from other people?
No, it makes sense.
That was Luis, right?
Yes.
Okay. Tyler?
Oh, it makes sense. I'm curious to see where it goes.
Yeah, well, listen, you know, um, as I've got an old saying, there's always a better way to build a watch because until you can explore, you don't know what those answers are. And that's one of my big themes is keeping our minds open. And we're heading into a new year. So we've got to be thinking that direction. Agreed? Okay. Give me a call. I will partner with you and we'll figure out where we can take it. Tyler, I was thinking of you first because we spoke a little while ago, but I think we have opportunities here.
Yeah. Yeah. Can I, are you in Arizona or California right now?
I'm in California, but I'll be back in Arizona in another week or two.
Okay. So you're an hour behind me. I'll call you at noon your time.
Okay.
Does that work? Because I do have to run for my next meeting.
Yeah, no problem.
Okay.
I'm thrilled that you guys joined in on this meeting. And I'm all about integrity. I'm all about that. That's what I'm an honest guy, a sincere guy. At my dad's funeral, I talked about honesty and integrity. And by the way, when I was in the military, I had 2 levels above top secret, above top secret. So they don't just hand those out to anybody. I got out of the service in like 1971, gang,
Wow.
height of Vietnam and all that stuff going on. And I was, I enlisted in the Navy because otherwise I would have been drafted and most likely have gone to Vietnam. But I was lucky. I enlisted in the Navy, but they took me out of the General Navy and they put me in NATO. And so all the stuff that you read about NATO, it's a wonderful organization. It's going through change like everybody else, but it's also 30 countries or 33 countries, whatever it is now, get together and they talk about the change that we go through. And the base I was on, um, it was above. I had what was called an atomal, which used to be a classified term. I couldn't even tell people. Cosmic, which was NATO, top secret clearance. And back in the 70s, they spent something like $130,000 getting my clearance. So can you imagine what that is worth today? 1.5 million?
A lot
So
of money.
a lot of value on it. So let's take our ideas. The only thing that works up here is my brain. I don't have anything else up there. A lot of air. But yeah, let's do that. And I know Tyler had to jump off on
Mhm.
another
We'll,
meeting,
we'll
but
contact you soon then.
yes, the
Yeah.
sooner the better because I'm on a campaign now, right now, to talk about what do we do, what do we say, how do we partner, what do we do together to get to the next level. And there is a next level, and it's right in front of us.
All right. Thank you. Appreciate it.
Luis,
Yeah,
thank you. I appreciate it.
absolutely.
I appreciate you guys joining in. And Cheryl, we got some work to do. Cheryl, how long have you been a client?
What?
How long have you been a client? 4 or 5 years? At least?
I
At
don't
least.
remember.
Yeah, it
Yeah,
goes way back. Okay.
profile.
So this wasn't a yesterday thing.
No, no.
All right. So good stuff. Good stuff. Uh, Mehedi, why don't you stay on and then we'll talk about what we just talked about now. How's that sound? And if you other people can bail from the meeting, that would be great.
Thanks.
Sounds good.
All right, gang.
Thanks. Have a good one. Of
Michael, thank you. I appreciate your time. Appreciate you
course.
showing up. Cheryl, you too.
Thank you. Bye.
Mehedi.